course on SharePoint Online. My name is Deb Ashby and I'm an IT trainer specialising in Microsoft products, and I'm going to be your host for this course, guiding you through how to become more productive and more efficient when using SharePoint. We'll start by discussing what exactly SharePoint is and why it's useful. I'll show you how you can access SharePoint. I will explore the SharePoint interface and navigation. We'll end this introductory section by speaking briefly about SharePoint roles and permissions. The next two sections will dedicate to SharePoint lists and SharePoint libraries. Pretty much everything in SharePoint is essentially a list, so understanding how to create, manage, and edit lists and libraries is an essential SharePoint skill. Next, we'll learn how to expand SharePoint content by connecting to other applications like Outlook and File Explorer. We'll also take a look at SharePoint notifications and how to create a discussion board. We'll then move on to learning how we can become more efficient by automating workflows. And I'm going to show you an example of how to create an approval workflow within SharePoint. We'll also learn how to use SharePoint as an intranet site by creating web pages that contain web and app paths and other types of content. We'll then go back to taking a deeper dive into the topic of roles and permissions and how you can manage access to a SharePoint site. And in the final section, we'll talk about site collections, subsites, and take a look at how we can customize the overall look and feel of the site using themes and site settings. Now, just a couple of things to mention before we begin. SharePoint is an online application, and so there are no downloadable course or exercise files to follow. Instead, in the last lesson of this section, I'm going to walk you through how to create a practice SharePoint site so you can follow along with me. Alternatively, if you already have a practice or test site of your own, please feel free to use that one. I'm going to be using the online version of SharePoint through Microsoft 365 as opposed to the enterprise desktop version. And finally, there are two ways to view a SharePoint site: the classic experience or the modern experience. Now, the classic experience used to be the only way to view a SharePoint site, but more recently, Microsoft has introduced the modern experience, which is faster, has more features, and works better across different devices. And what I'm talking about here is basically the way that the site looks and the way that it functions. Now, both the classic and the modern experience are available in SharePoint, which can be a little bit confusing, and you'll notice that some of the pages default to classic layout and some to modern. Now, the majority of this course will be demonstrated using the modern experience. So if you are working through this with me and you find your pages look a little bit different to mine, it is worth checking what experience you're using in your settings. So with all of that said, we have lots to cover. So grab yourself a drink and I will see you